Welcome back everybody, I'm Nick930, and today we're taking an in-depth look at the newly released expansion to Horizon Forbidden West, The Burning Shores. And before we get started, I'd like to thank PlayStation for sponsoring this video. The Burning Shores expansion is available to purchase now, exclusively for PlayStation 5. It does require the base game Horizon Forbidden West to play, though if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium member, you can use the included digital version of Forbidden West in the collection to purchase and play Burning Shores today. Be sure to check the link in the description for more details. Alright, so first up, let's talk about the expansion's story. Burning Shores takes place shortly after the events of the base game, with Aloy having been made aware of a catastrophic threat to the planet and needing to travel abroad to stop it. This brings Aloy to the remains of Los Angeles, or the Burning Shores, that's been completely transformed over the past 1,000 years thanks to powerful seismic and volcanic activity. Upon arriving, Aloy is immediately confronted with an advanced defensive system somewhere in downtown, and teams up with a tribe of stranded Quen warriors to help locate their missing Marines, while investigating the mysterious new machines arriving on the archipelago. The expansion story should take you anywhere between 7 to 10 hours to complete. Most of the missions involve traveling through the ruins of iconic LA landmarks, often alongside a new companion named Seika, as you search for her fellow Quen Marines and uncover more secrets about Londra's past. The general formula is pretty much consistent with the base game here, though I do appreciate the overall more straightforward and contained story, as the base game can be a lot to take in at times. Side missions and activities return as well, though aren't nearly as prominent, with only about 2 to 3 side quests, and a lack of any new bandit camps, tall necks, or hunting grounds. There is, however, a new activity introduced called aerial captures, that involve flying a sunwing through a set of gates to uncover an image of the past. Along with the new story, there is of course an entirely brand new environment for players to explore as well. The Burning Shores introduces the ruins of Los Angeles to the world of Horizon, with dozens of iconic landmarks to see, including the Hollywood sign, the Chinese Theater, the US Bank Building, and Santa Monica, all transformed due to more than 1,000 years of neglect and decay. There isn't quite as much variety in the biomes here, as the entire Burning Shores shares the same tropical design elements used in the San Francisco section of the base game, though these tropical locales feel much more fleshed out visually. The bright greens contrasting with the deep blue of the flooded streets make for a striking presentation, and this is further accented by colorful flowers and environmental decor that makes the world really pop on the screen. There's also a lot of great tech being used here that we only saw hints of before, like the incredible looking water and wave simulation on the surface, the incredibly dense underwater canyons, filled with lots of dynamic aquatic wildlife, and most impressive of all, full volumetric cloud rendering that players can fly in and out of with their mounted sunwing. This latter effect appears to be brand new to the Burning Shores expansion, and will even dynamically change throughout the course of each in-game day, ensuring no two flights ever feel the same. As for the overall map size, Burning Shores isn't nearly as big as the base game's Forbidden West. But it's not necessarily small either. It's roughly the size of both the San Francisco area and the jungle coastline combined, and offers much more verticality as well, making areas like the downtown area feel much more densely packed as a result. The Burning Shores also introduces several new abilities for players to toy around with, many of which seem to really bulk up the game's vertical movement. The Sunwings, for example, seem to be a major focus here, as they've been given new abilities like being able to pick up special containers and open sealed walls that Aloy would otherwise not be able to access. Because of the increased volcanic activity on the island chains, players can now use their shield wing to boost upwards using thermal updrafts, which can usually be found at the base of high cliffs or even in areas designed for combat encounters. Water travel is also a major component of the Burning Shores, and players can now pilot a motorized skiff through the sea, or mount one of the new water wing machines to seamlessly transition from flight to diving underwater without slowing down. This expansion also sees a slight update to the game's combat systems, thanks to the inclusion of several new skills and Valor Surge abilities. These include some passive abilities like increased knockdown time for machines, the option to instantly tie down a machine a second time with the rope caster after they've recovered, the ability to enter slow motion when aiming from a shield wing, and even the ability to drop shields down for temporary cover from ranged attacks. But the most useful new ability is the Machine Grapple Strike, that lets Aloy grapple over to a fallen enemy and perform a critical strike using a brief quicktime event. It's a really nice addition to the combat flow, and the extra resonator target left on the enemy makes for a nice finishing move as players jump off backwards in slow motion. To help round out Aloy's new abilities, the Burning Shores also adds in with it some new legendary weapons for most of the weapon classes. Only these weapons can only be purchased with a combination of metal shards and a new currency called Brimshine. This ensures that players with lots of saved up scrap metal can't immediately suit up with the expansion's most powerful gear, and because Brimshine can be found all throughout the Burning Shores themselves, it does a nice job of encouraging exploration as well. New outfits, face paint, and dyes can be purchased from vendors too, which is important because you'll probably need the extra armor to deal with the Burning Shores' new threats. First, there's the Water Wings that I mentioned before. The Water Wings are basically the same as the Sun Wings, only they have slightly different ranged-based attacks, and are much more challenging to take on in a straight fight. Though they also serve a dual purpose in that they can be used as mounts to fly around the map, and even dive under the water to speed through the surprisingly detailed underwater environments. Then there's the Bile Gut, which is essentially a giant robot frog that can emit large amounts of toxic fumes and jump long distances, requiring the player to constantly move during battle. The Bile Guts can also spawn in another new machine type called the Sting Spawn, that resemble large robotic flies, and while not necessarily strong, they can be a nuisance when encountered in larger numbers. And finally, there's the Horus, that, for the sake of avoiding spoiling too much, I won't go too far into detail with. Suffice to say, it's one of the most impressive confrontations the series has ever seen, especially from a technical perspective. And considering how long I've personally wanted to take on one of these machines in the series, I'd say it certainly delivers on its promises and is reason alone to try this expansion out. Overall, Burning Shores offers a ton of great new content to the overall Forbidden West experience. The new Los Angeles location, the decently long new storyline, additional weapons, and new player abilities make this feel like its own standalone game. Though there are issues from the base game that seem to remain, like awkward player movement animations in interior spaces, some light LOD pop-in, and Aloy's tendency to give the answer to puzzles before giving me a chance to solve them for myself. I would have also liked to see some more new machines added in with this expansion, especially aquatic-based machines, considering how much water travel plays a role throughout the gameplay. But otherwise, I had loads of fun jumping back into the world of Horizon for this expansion, and I'm excited to see what's next for Aloy and her friends. But what do you guys think? Are you enjoying the Burning Shores? Let me know in the comments section. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this posted every week.